I believe in Joe Hendry.
Welcome back, everyone, to Total Nonstop Impact Talk for Impact fans right here on the YouTube and the Twitch. And you're probably wondering where the heck the intro is. Well, the show's going through some growing pains, some changes. So just bear with us. But hey, nonetheless, guess what? Your three favorite hosts discussing all things TNA are still here. J-Bone here. We've got Alicia and Front Row Bill to give you everything TNA related on the road to Bound for Glory coming at the end of next week. It's just days away. How? Yes, Alicia says, lift your spirits. Yay! We'll see if we can lift Alicia's spirits, because talking about this show... Oh, geez, she almost lost it. Sorry. I don't think she was very happy with this show. But we're going to talk about it all. We're going to get our opinions out there. Yes, we are going to put you under the spotlight tonight. But that's only because we love you. All right. How's everyone doing?
Doing good, J-Bone. It's spooky season.
Well, that's happy. I'm excited about that. Can't you tell from my enthusiasm?
I was almost expecting something very Halloween-y in your background, but I don't know if I see anything Halloween.
The problem is it's here. It's just facing me. Well, I guess
on the other side.
Spooky light. Although you can't tell, I look blue, but it's green and purple. So,
there you go.
Yeah,
we're going over the color wheel right now.
Well, it's like I had started getting ready for Halloween, and then unfortunately my dog passed away. So, and that kind of put the kibosh on the spirit, because she was my little Halloween dog.
Yeah, that can do it. Unfortunately, we're very sorry about that.
Thanks. I mean, yeah. Don't get me started.
No, it's all right. All right.
I'm a powder keg.
I hear you. Rayline, thank you very much for the bits.
Thank you.
In the Twitch, and I believe, yes, there it is. We've got a super sticker from Punk. Thank you very much, brother. Hope all is well down in Florida. Yes, anyone down south dealing with what this nation of ours is dealing with, we hope and pray that you guys are staying safe, getting through what you have to get through day by day, and or helping, your brother in your own community. We gotta pull together. We gotta pull together. It's what we do as Americans. I know that TNA was sharing some links tonight if you want to help donate to certain causes to help out those down south. Go ahead, Alicia. Oh, you're muted.
Shit, took me right out. If you're going to donate directly to people who are in need during all these disasters that have been going on in the South. So
that's a good idea too. Yes.
You make sure the money, it just ensures that the money gets right directly to people who actually need it. And I'm sure if you root around a little bit, you'll be able to find people who could use the help. So,
right. Yeah. And there's
people need it now, not a month from now.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. There are specific little independent teams that I've seen that are going out every single day with supplies, up into the mountains of the Appalachians to the people that can't get out and other people can't get in because the train is gone. So yeah, that's another one to look for too. So yeah, just everyone stay safe. We're keeping you in our thoughts. But yeah, man, Bound for Glory is right around the corner. This I felt was a loaded show. We got a lot of new matches to talk about. But let's shall we talk? Well, there's a lot of new stuff too. So shall we dive into some news, guys?
Some J-Bones news.
Little J
Bill, I
Bones
think this
news.
is your part.
And a little music. Since you didn't get the theme song, you still get the jingle jangle. J Bones stuff.
Jiminy Christmas.
And now, for your listening pleasure, the one and only man with the voice,
Searching for my fake wrestling news.
Oh man, so many things to talk about. Where do we start? Well, let's talk about.
So little news, so much time, J Bone. What do we do?
Let's talk about something that's been in our discussion the last few weeks. Guessing as to what is going to happen in this year's Bound for Glory Hall of Fame, the TNA Hall of Fame, excuse me, at Bound for Glory. Typically, the pre-show, which we found out that, as you can see by the bottom corner of the artwork cover of the video, Rhino and Bob Ryder, God rest his soul, is going to be inducted into the TNA Hall of Fame. What do you guys think? Are you excited about this?
Well deserved for Rhino. And the other guy. Sorry.
Yeah, no, these were right choices for sure. Obviously, and especially with Rhino being in Detroit, got the hometown cooking going on there too. So
that's special.
But just like you saw tonight, there's not a time that the War Machine Rhino comes out that I don't give him a "Who's the man? You're the man." So
he doesn't age.
He's the man in the Hall of Fame. He does not. It's like from the last ECW champion to today, it's not much has changed from Rhino there. So very, very good to see the Rhino going in. And obviously Bob Ryder, he was right there at the inception with the Jarretts. So Bob Ryder was pretty much the man behind the scenes doing a lot of stuff in, well, not even just early TNA, through his whole time. Sadly to his passing, he was pretty much still involved with stuff. I only got to deal with him a few times, but when I won the bracket brawl years ago, because he was the travel guy, so I actually worked with him when I got that trip down the Bound for Glory as the prize. So, but no, very, very, very good man that did a lot for the company, obviously, over the years. So good to see. Maybe not your typical people also get into the Hall of Fame too, but obviously people that played a huge role. Like when you look at like the Baseball Hall of Fame and some other things, like you have the people kind of behind the scenes. Like you obviously have managers, GM, but other personnel, people that do broadcasting or write stories for the newspapers. Like they all played a part in the growth of this company. So very cool to see.
Oh yeah, yeah, well deserved all around, and like you said, it's in Rhino's backyard. It's where he's from, so that's very exciting. In fact, he still has his own. Is it his indie company, or is it something that he just works with? Is it his company?
Yeah, I believe he's the owner. Or he's obviously the face of the promotion. Okay. I'm sure, like with everything else, I'm sure there's other people involved with it too. But he's obviously the face of it there in Monroe, Michigan. I was able to make it out there for a show before. But no, a very cool promotion as well. A lot of TNA people obviously make some appearances there on a regular basis. So if you're ever in the area, obviously, might be a cool thing to check out. I do not believe, and I honestly don't know. I know there's some people probably in our chat that are more familiar. I don't believe they have a show right before Bound for Glory coming up. But if they do, let us know. While we're talking about other stuff, I'll confirm that. But
and while we're talking about indie shows, you two were talking about a show that's happening in Philly. Coming down the pike soon. Why don't you?
Same day as Bound for Glory.
Oh,
same day, yeah. So that was one of the reasons. I know it had come up. Some of the different TNA news sources lately were like, "Oh well, we know who's not going to be at Bound for Glory," And that's I don't want to step on the news that we were also going to talk about, but it's something I talked about on this show quite a while back because I know Alicia, I had tickets. So my tickets are still there. So who knows who might be sitting where Bill normally sits, because that's when we all thought Bound for Glory wasn't going to be in the States. That show went on sale. So I was planning to attend Battleground Championship Wrestling in Philadelphia that day. And one of the announced matches was our latest signing in TNA. That's one KC Navarro of First Class. Congrats. Obviously, KC has been a fixture in this area, the Northeast, for many years. And he's dabbled here and there in TNA over the years, sort of like we saw with Chris Bay and others. So you always knew there was some interest there. But I remember being at that last battle. Well, it was either the last Battleground. I think it was the last Battleground show. And KC obviously on the card. And then at one point he references to me like, I'll be seeing you again real soon. And then like, obviously he was at TNA. He was making his return to TNA. And it felt like it was more long-term, especially becoming part of First Class and all that. But because of this, the news is he is no longer, as predicted, because he was going to be facing Sheldon Benjamin, who's been obviously used lately. And I don't know if it was considered the main event, but obviously a featured match on the card. But he is now pulled out, or he was pulled out of that show and replaced with Rich Homie Swan. So we know Rich Homie Swan now will be there. But obviously I'm sure that was part of like a TNA thing where they're like, okay, yeah, KC will probably play a role now, at least in the Gauntlet, you would imagine. But now obviously, but that's probably preluding to a fairly imminent return, maybe in those follow-up tapings in North Carolina or Atlanta at the latest of Swan's return, I would imagine.
Well, we'll have to wait and see what happens. But yeah, Alicia, thoughts on KC Navarro officially signing with TNA?
I think it's about time. I've always said whenever he comes up is that with him, popping up here and there, he's an extraordinary young talent. So like, I wouldn't be surprised if he eventually signs, and I'm glad he finally did. So, I mean, him with AJ, it just makes sense. And they've got good chemistry with each other. So, yeah, it's good.
Yeah, KC Navarro maybe taking some hits as being a part of the First Class lately, not always being on the winning side, but this kid is the future of the X-Division, if I may say.
A lot of talent. So
he's got rockets on his roller skates.
Yeah.
We're just waiting for the fuse to get lit.
Yeah. Yeah. He may be with First Class for a while, but even if he's with AJ Francis for a while, doesn't mean he can't break out and do his own thing, X-Division wise or whatever.
And it's a great spot to be connected with AJ Francis.
Yeah.
Might I just add that even if they didn't break up the team, I feel like it would be good for them to go for individual championships, make them like a little mini stable, micro stable.
Yes. Especially when you get Swan back. Now with three guys, you are a stable, and you could easily throw a knockout in there.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It could grow. It has the potential to grow.
Has legs.
It's got the right elements.
Is saying there, KC Navarro is only 25. I figured he was younger, but not that young. Because he started young, just like we saw tonight, like Leon Slater. Like you start young, you get like 4 or 5 years in the business, and like you're like grizzled vet already.
Yeah, but he's been around a while, so
yeah. He's and with the charisma he has, he's going to be blazing a trail. It's just a matter of time and patience. But I see nothing but good things coming to him, with or without AJ Francis at his side. It's going to be an exciting future for him and or both. Critical Sting here. Welcome. Says KC was a kid when he was in the in the Super X Cup. Right. Yeah, so young, so talented. Very happy to have him part of this roster. What else do we want to talk about? There's a bunch of little things. I mean, and we can also talk about the additions. Oh, I do want to bring this up. I hate bringing up negative stuff, but this is a fairly big thing in the news. And I can't say he was like directly tied to TNA with the exception of a few big shows, like All In, that Scott D'Amore was at, and he played a major part having some TNA talent in that show as well. But Joe Koff, COO,
Oh yes,
former Ring of Honor COO Joe Koff passed away.
Yeah, I had a few interactions with him at Ring of Honor shows, especially in Philly over the years.
Yeah.
And very nice man. You could tell. So, yeah, no, that's definitely sad when you lose. Like, he was obviously near the end, obviously, of real Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
Like, he was one of the guys keeping that afloat.
Yeah. Yeah, it's and I heard I can't remember who it was, but someone talking about it, basically that Ring of Honor wouldn't be what it was without it going into like the Sinclair era. And I feel like the Sinclair era, that's right when I started watching it. That was about 12 years ago. Very exciting time is when Kevin Steen really broke out in his rivalry with El Generico. Eddie Edwards was battling Davey Richards. Wild time. Go ahead, Alicia.
I was just gonna say what their names are now. These people didn't watch.
I only know them by
their. I don't know who El Generico is and Kevin Steen.
I only know Kill Steen Kill. I don't know.
I'm kidding.
After that,
I do that mainly for myself so I can remember their old names that I came and
it's like Flow Slang. He's got to keep
Sami
to that.
Zayn, yes. Sami Zayn and Kevin.
You got to keep them humble. You got to keep them humble.
Ole. What?
Oh yeah. We all know that in real life, El Generico is somewhere helping the kids down in Mexico. That's kayfabe, daddy. But yeah, so rest in peace, Joe Koff. Critical piece of Ring of Honor history back then. Before the after the after the HD Net era, and then prior to the Tony Khan era. So, let's see what else here. Well, okay, so this is I can laugh about this now. I was going to break something last week, but then I was told I shouldn't because it wasn't official.
As well,
yet.
You shouldn't. It was not official.
And but I thought it was. I just didn't know. It was just I was ignorant to the fact that it was not official. And I'm not blaming anyone but myself. I saw it several different places, so I thought it was out there and official. But now, as one of these hosts of this show, I can proudly say it is official that Vikingo is returning to TNA Wrestling at Bound for Glory. And no one's going to
Will we be allowed to film it? I'm kidding. If you know, you know.
No, we will not. Well,
it'll be a concept of a match.
He'll be he was gone for what, a couple of years, or was it a year? How?
Well, he was hurt for a while too.
Well, that's what I mean.
He was showing up.
He was hurt. He was gone. Injured? Whatever. Yeah. I don't remember what it was. Well, he was also AAA Mega Champion. So that changed too. So glad it's El Patron champion down there now. It's just makes my day. And then just hoping that part of the relationship with AAA stays down there. TNA doesn't need that. But yeah, so very excited about Vikingo. Glad he's healthy, returning to the ring, and
Very
that
cool.
And that Bound for Glory is going to be one of his first big return matches, if not his first one. I don't know if he's doing any other appearances before then, but
we'll see. Obviously, you got TV tapings the following day. It would make sense. I know he's booked for House of Glory, I believe, a little bit before, I believe the weekend before. So, and I believe he's working with a TNA talent at that show as well. So sometimes those are little precursors to signs. And just FYI, to follow up earlier on the on Rhino's promotion, Insane Wrestling Revolution, IWR, they are running a show the Thursday night before Bound for Glory. So if you're heading to the area, you definitely can get another showing pre-Bound for Glory. So check it out. And as Critical Sting is saying there, Vikingo versus Nemeth at House of Glory. So could be a precursor.
Big.
Sometimes these are signs. So reading some tea leaves.
And not bad tea leaves at that. My goodness, that's big. The current.
Well, speaking of big, J-Bone, if you want to discuss another guy that let us know about his contract status, I'd consider still a friend of the show, even though he does not like impressions of him being out there. But that one Sami Callihan was interviewed, and it was asked about, like, it was pretty much out there that it was like a handshake deal, something like nothing official. Has anything changed? And he addressed that, still careful with the wording, but pretty much saying he's not going anywhere. He's here for like the long haul, and he can even see himself retiring in TNA and possibly then working backstage. So it seems like Sami Callihan is not going anywhere. So just once again, another kind of little tip of the cap to the brass at Anthem and TNA. Another obviously long-term player, like one of the guys that pretty much came during the beginning of the Anthem era, sticking around.
2017, cool. Absolutely. Not a bad thing. Yeah, like Zach Bonifer says here, he has to maintain his band, Hemi. Yes, if you know.
That's right. Know. Someone's got to do it.
Yeah. God, I don't know what Trent's doing, but geez. Certainly wasn't here. Oh, sorry. Love you, Trent.
Catching strays like Johnny Cash was on the show tonight.
You're right. Right. Love a Johnny Cash. All right. Anything else that I'm missing before we jump into tonight's show?
Well, we do got, I want to wish a happy birthday to a guy I'm always saying needs to get the big push. And that's longtime TNA talent at this point, Shera. Happy birthday to the big man.
Happy birthday, Shera. Yeah, still part of the company. I think lately he's been doing more stuff in the Ohio Valley Wrestling end of things with Al Snow and the crew down there. But yeah, it's nice to know that he's got places to go besides TNA, that he can stay up on his chops, help improve himself and whatever he's, all doing. So yeah, good to see.
Oh, and best wishes to Steph DeLander, who had her surgery.
Oh.
Safe and speedy recovery, Steph.
Did it sound like it was a positive surgery?
It
Like,
sounded
obviously
like, but I'm sure with all that stuff, you got to kind of wait and see. But at least
Right.
initially, it seemed like everything, like
Went
she was in
well.
good spirits.
Okay.
If you check her social media.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that's one. I have had zero time on social media lately. I've barely checked my emails, and I always check my emails. I've just been very busy. So that is great news. Yeah, we hope that she does return someday. I'm sure Steph will keep us updated through social media stuff, and when we hear stuff, we'll bring it to you as TNA fans. So
Correct.
So yeah, definitely best wishes to Steph DeLander. Now, was it what it was neck surgery?
Hold on, J-Bone. I'll get confirmation on exactly what she put out there.
A bonus baby also says, any word on the big man Joe Doring?
Have not heard anything lately. Obviously
Still
wishing
fighting.
him the best. Yeah, that's kind of the last. Like I'm sure he's still fighting it, but probably something like that is like almost if you don't hear anything, take that as a positive. Like that, that hopefully things haven't gotten like any worse, but obviously that's a long process. So can just wish him the best.
Yeah. Oh, and Mayor says that Motor City Machine Guns are making their WWE debut tomorrow on SmackDown. So those of you watching SmackDown lately, fans of Motor City Machine Guns, should be very interesting.
Yeah, and it is like it was neck surgery.
Okay, neck surgery. Yeah,
as said on the show. Yeah,
that could be that could be a lot of different things. That could be just cleaning up stuff to very, very, very serious. So we'll see what happens. Yeah.
And J-Bone, I guess I'll just end it. And I know, like in the sadder news that's out there, I know we talked about Joe Koff. But I know it was out there because at the time it was during TNA, but the member of One Direction, Liam Payne, that passed away.
Yes.
He was a big wrestling fan, and actually a big at the time TNA fan because remember it was so big in the UK during that time period, and he actually did a match with Kurt Angle, so he actually worked kind of a little bit of a TNA type event.
And won.
Angle put him over. He put the kid over. So, but just once again, another one, obviously on the sadder scale, but that obviously did have some TNA connection at the time.
It is sad. I mean, I remember when those kids were on top of the world, and my daughter would just sit on my computer when she'd come over.
Oh yeah, they were the biggest boy band of the era during that time.
Oh, yeah. I mean, when I was a kid, it was New Kids on the Block, and then Backstreet Boys and NSYNC was like the next thing. And then One Direction and, everyone else that was around them. So, yeah, I mean, that was huge. But, yeah, very sad. Talented kids. So, all right, let's jump into tonight's loaded show. This show did feel like it flew, though. I don't know about you guys. This really felt like
it does. Well, there were a couple matches, obviously, and we'll get to them. There was a couple like longer segments and then longer matches. So it really was like pacing wise. Pretty quick on that. It all depends though on what you think, obviously, and we'll get into that on the matches versus some of the promos. Especially more promos; those are always hit and miss. I think a good match is a good match, but I'm sure there'll be some opinions on some of what we saw tonight. So,
and that's
Maestro conducted.
That's one of the best things about our crew is like, we don't always all like the same thing. And it's like, man, if we'd have one boring ass show if we all love the same thing and just
it'd be the peanut butter and jelly podcast.
Yeah, every show's a 10. No, it's not. It's we love stuff.
And I'll be the first to tell you, it's not.
It's not.
Hey, come on! I'm ready to piss on everyone's Cheerios.
Well, just like I just said, not enough Shira. Not enough Shira.
Not enough Shira. There you go. All right, we start off with what I didn't realize at first was a pick your poison match, but it was. There was 2 pick your poison matches. So there was one for PCO and one for Matt Cardona, and they both picked their own or the other's opponent. Now this was interesting because Rhino, as much as he was cheered here, almost kind of felt like a heel.
Well, J-Bone, this is, and this might make some stuff make a little more sense, possibly, and I don't know what opinions will be, but we didn't know it was a pick your poison match. You heard that? That was some post-production magic.
Okay.
Unless I was in my wave of I'm just at TNA and I'm out of it. Okay. I'm in the zone, but I'm pretty sure we did not get a pick your poison stipulation. So Rhino's coming out. I'm all rhinoed up, but then PCO comes out. I'm like, what the hell? What's going on here? So I think that the crowd was kind of subdued. Like the fans are like, well, why are they fighting each other? That's the best man in his wedding.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So,
but as a pick your poison, it makes sense.
Right. It's Cardona just, stirring the pot, Like, oh, you guys are close? Oh, yeah. Guess what? You two can kick each other's ass. And they did. Yeah, it was a pretty good match, hard to really, root for just one of them because, we dig both. Some people don't like PCO, so you may like Rhino or vice versa, whatever. But what did you guys think of this?
Go ahead, Bill.
Well, once again, I'm right there with you, J-Bone, because during the match, Rhino was coming off a little bit like a heel. And I think that kind of threw the crowd off a little bit because nobody boos Rhino. Nobody's Rhino. So PCO, but then obviously with the ending and all, you had PCO obviously do everything there to kind of he's going to get over because when PCO is throwing his body to the wind like that, you're gonna get the crowd over with you. So it was a little bit, like I said, if it was a little clearer, but once again, we got to remember a lot of extenuating circumstances went into these tapings. Obviously, this was supposed to happen in a different state or part of the country.
Yeah,
it was in the middle of the week, so shortcuts had to be made. And I'm sure keeping the limited crowd informed was not a priority. But so that may have had some effect on the match because it did feel, like I said, because of the whole angle, it felt a little off because of not really knowing what was going on during that. So I can definitely see that. Like as soon as I know Alicia will get her reaction, but I knew when she was kind of I'm like, well, this match kind of, I could see that. And these are two guys I really like, but I think not knowing the angle, you almost needed a promo for the crowd to know, all right, I'm setting this up. This is all mid Cardona's doing. Some
intro or something.
Or maybe him sitting at ringside.
Yeah.
Kind of like pulling the strings, although they're going that heavy and we have that later in the episode. You don't want to do that too much. Yeah. So once again, but I can see it. I get it, but probably not the best execution for a number of reasons. But But I see where it is in the storyline.
Right. I mean, you said it really good. How do I follow up with that? No, man, it's basically what you said is how I feel about it. It's just it felt a little disconnected. And just some kind of connection to the overall story, which we did get heavier in the show, like you said. Yeah. Good match, though. It's fun to see those two guys fight. I don't think we've seen many Rhino versus PCO matches. So
No, and that's the intriguing thing about it, is like you really don't see that, which
Right.
is cool, because these are two, like, you look at it on the roster for sure, like you want like hardcore type wrestler like antics in a match. These are the two guys. Like
right.
if you want to possibly see a table or a chair, like these guys are definitely the guys you want to kind of see. So it is interesting, the Cardona element that thrown in here. But like I said, it's more one of those things where when it happened at the beginning of the show, and that's the other thing, I'll question placement opening this show. Because if they, like I said, if they gave a little bit more story angle going into this match and did it like in the middle of the show, I think this could have hit a little better. But I think just the opener, you kind of reserve that spot, especially it was cold open, Rhino entrance. So all you heard was pretty much, once again, I think it was a post, Jade saying, pick your poison. And it was hinted, and then obviously Hannafin and all, they then went into it a little bit more in talking it up. But I think that could have probably been a little better. Once again, placement on cards is key, and I think that could have been helped. Go ahead, Alicia.
I was just going to say, I personally feel like it would have been an interesting spin to open the show with the Jordyn and Masha co-interview.
Oh, okay.
You can definitely start with a segment. No doubt.
You could start the show any way you want. It's wrestling. Let's get creative, right? It's not going to hurt to try, right? But
like WWE made that a model, starting it with, and TNA does it from time to time. They don't do it a lot, but they do it. Like let's hit them with like, and sometimes like WWE, they would do a 20-minute promo to kick off a show. You better have a good promo though. You better have a good promo. Like,
you better have some, like that is not meant for everybody. And there's a couple people who they really got to stop giving these segments.
What are you getting at?
That's not important. I feel like that's one of those things like wink, if you know, you know, it goes without saying.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? It's just some people just don't have the gift of gab, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's why you're able to kick people's ass in the ring, right?
That's right.
But let's avoid those 20-minute intros. But I just feel like, you know, once in a while, or, you know, maybe every so more often, just switch it up. Because what was it, last year or the beginning of the year, where my complaint was they were starting the show with the same thing every week. And it just got so redundant, and then they started switching up the segments and stuff, and it was like the perfect key. I feel like they might be kind of slightly slipping
of not being a formulaic show, like where it's like easy, like it's cut and paste. If you do that, it can get old quick.
Wrestling should be exciting, and that falls into every category of it. Is like, you know, you got your serious, you got your funny, but it should be exciting. And if it becomes predictable and kind of repetitive, it for someone who has like ADHD like I do, like it takes me right out of it.
Oh, I totally get you there. Yeah. It did feel weird. I feel like I saw a promo somewhere where Rhino got in PCO's face. I'm guessing this is either something I missed last week, or it was one of those behind the scene post-production.
And they could have promoted it. Yeah, if they did it on social media, I'm with you, J-Bone. Like, I caught up in like the last day or so, but if they did that like a few days ago, I very well could have missed it. And they may have done a little more promotion that I wasn't missing, but I'll still look at this a lot. You can't trust that people are finding this other ways. I got to depend on what I see the night of to really judge it. Like, that was a great thing. Hey, I think all of us here were fans of BTI before the Impact. And that's where they would squeeze all that stuff they may have shown during the week into that pre-show. And then you are kind of like, oh, now I'm up to date on everything a little bit more.
A little refresher, an appetizer before the main course, you know?
A little taste.
A
little taste.
You knew what was coming, but you knew
Gia and Josh.
Yes, with Gia and Josh. But there were also points from the week before that they would chop up and show you bits that would make sense in the coming weeks and days ahead, whatever. Yeah.
And I know it's kind of being talked in the chat right now, and that is something kind of getting to it. Like this was 3. Remember, like Spartanburg was going to be 4 episodes, but because obviously of the storm and the canceled tapings there, they then had to do the Bound for Glory special, and now 4 weeks of content are being wrapped up into 3. So obviously segments, matches were sacrificed by doing this. So original plans didn't go out the window, but they got modified and slipped out the window.
It probably abbreviated in some way, shape, or form. Yeah. You gotta.
I'm sure some things stayed exactly the same, but some other things definitely are coming out differently than they would have originally. Because remember, you're pretty much 1 2-hour show and Explosion. But mainly that's why Explosion, once again, if you're not watching Explosion, they're doing a lot more storyline angles on Explosion. So you really do need to kind of, and maybe J-Bone, we need to do even more here at TNI of making sure, like when we had a second show a week and we do sometimes with the NXT, we probably do need to kind of bring that back, because I think the storylines, these angles in certain storylines are being very much done on there. So you got to at least get that little taste. And once again, that's why BTI was a good thing for that.
Oh, yeah. Reason. Yeah, the extra shows were not always the perfect content, but they did, shed light on stuff that needed a little more discussion. So, it was nice.
Yeah, it expands some of the divisions more than you see on the main show.
Yeah. All right, next we got it was a backstage interview with Nick Nemeth talking about his main event. Man, it seems like he's got a new jacket every week. I love those jackets.
But he was matching Gia.
Yeah.
Twinsies.
Gia, maybe Gia made it. Rumor has it she's stellar with a bedazzler.
Ooh.
Well, no, it's not rumor. She said it herself. It's like she makes a lot of Ace in hers gear, and if it's bedazzled, it's probably Gia.
Well, Ace is Wrestling Revolver champion, and there's some storyline.
And she's his Lady Luck.
Yeah.
Gia, hot damn.
There's some storyline going on between the two, and let's just say that I didn't even recognize Gia in the segment I saw online. Typically, we see her cute backstage, little Southern accent. She's got a cute little dress on.
Professional.
Very professional. What I saw in this segment with Ace for Wrestling Revolver, woo!
Are they bringing back his old porn star career?
Oh,
let's just say
a corn star. I don't know if
he looked dominating.
I don't know if anyone follows, but Gia has been doing her thing at Pro Wrestler Revolver for like a hot minute now, and it's almost like everyone's so used to seeing her that they don't even realize that she's going hog wild down there. You know what I mean? She's evolving. So
you're going to see it at some point, probably here, and because like she signed long term, which was very, very astute move.
Yeah.
But I think, like you see her, she's getting involved in everything, and we haven't really seen her yet do like the valet or like more in ring. But I think those are definitely possibilities going forward. So, but it is interesting because I've been to some Revolver shows and I've seen kind of a little bit of it, but she is going even more into that character. And obviously with the IPWF, if you remember your history, but that Rusty Nails, like a little bit of an influence there, but now like a modern Rusty Nails, if you will.
I was just thinking that, like modern Rusty Nails.
There you go. There you go. All right, then we got our next match is we see NXT's
Brinley.
Brinley. I almost said Briley. Brinley Reece, very athletic, introduced by Ariana Grace. I forgot what title she gave herself from NXT.
The liaison.
The sash.
Liaison, thank you. The liaison from NXT to TNA, yeah.
The best liaison in the business.
Yes. So she introduces her. Of course, she is one of Ariana's best friends. Everyone's best friends with her. That's like the
she makes friends.
Now. She does.
Okay, Delulu.
Yeah.
Drinking that Delulu Kool-Aid.
Right. And she is facing Ash by Elegance. And this I felt like was very entertaining. I was hoping we were going to see something new from Heather Reckless, but apparently she's what did they say? She's somewhere seeing a doctor about her.
Is that the Great Doctor Finkelstein?
I hate that shit.
In Boca Raton.
She's getting a makeover. You don't like that, Alicia?
I don't like the implications of what the makeover entails, but I feel let me just say this, and then you guys can take over. Okay. I think it's a mistake to not have some kind of segment where they're shopping or doing, you know what I mean? They could have drawn this out storyline wise a little bit just to kind of show the process of them recreating Heather. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I gotcha. Yeah,
an elegance,
like the shopping,
an elegant Ash extravagance by Ash by Elegance. Like, you know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah.
It's like okay, nope. Let's just write her off and for the surgery. Like, okay.
Well, a little Botox ain't bad. I mean, I hope they're not implementing something else that's more controversial than that. But we'll see. We'll see. They didn't like the bike chains and the barbed wire. So
it was perfectly fine. Compared to other people on the roster, that was normal. That was perfectly normal.
Right.
She ain't wrong.
Nothing wrong with that. But what did you guys think of Reece versus Ash here?
That one girl had gear like a mermaid.
A little bit.
And her name kind of reminded me like Brinley Reece. Like a mermaid.
I wasn't too familiar with Brinley, but they're very athletic, strong. I know I saw someone here make reference, like, be interesting to see her in a tag team with Danny Luna. So, but once it like kind of like just like a powerhouse, like kind of like a small but powerhouse type wrestler. But once again, very interesting seeing like the different talent coming over from NXT, all kind of a little bit different. And I think where you're going to see there is like I said, it's almost like you're going to find those ones that are be like, oh, I remember when they did that little run in TNA, and now they're like a big member of the roster. Now some obviously won't, but some will for sure. And you can see some of that potential.
Well, TNA has always been very good at featuring things like that. Like if they showed up years later to WWE, and for example, when LA Knight got his big launch within the last year, and everything was grassroots, organic, and he pretty much like did it on it. I'm not saying he did it totally on his own. They gave him the opportunity, obviously, but it felt like the crowd just caught on naturally. And TNA, of course, started showing segments on social media like, hey, this is where he came from, and did all this other stuff too. So that they're very good at doing stuff like that. We'll probably see that in the future down the road. I felt like Reece was a really good match for Ash. I was shocked Pleasantly shocked. I was hoping this wasn't going to be just a squash match. I did think the the lipstick putting on during the match was hilarious, and then Reece messed it up.
I thought that was one of the highlights.
Classic.
And obviously, I am a big Beautiful People fan from TNA history. But it reminded me of some of those antics and obviously some old tried and true wrestling tropes. And that's her thing, to be elegant, to be beautiful, to be superior to the other knockouts out there. And by using the lipstick as one of the weapons, I think that's a nice touch to the character. I was a fan of that for sure. So I thought it was a good match. And you know what? We didn't talk about it. And at times I don't like to talk about it because I have beef with it a lot. And I used to be a proponent of it in my youth. But PWI, some of the top, what is it now? Is it 250 women? I think's the ranking. I know it. Alicia is kind of giving my normal opinion on that, but there is. But I believe Ash had her highest rating in obviously from her previous character up north.
Okay.
But I think she was maybe somewhere in the 40s. I forget it off the top of my head. And obviously Jordyn Grace was number 2.
Number 2, yeah, that I saw. That's great. That's incredible.
Well, that's where she should be, honestly. If you were putting these other people that barely wrestle or whatever just because of them being somewhere,
right.
That's what makes a lot of that a joke, and I don't acknowledge it too much. Yeah. And honestly, if there wasn't this connection with NXT and her showing up at the Rumble and all, would they have given her 2? Probably not. She would have fell to 10, which they'd be like, well, you're not part of the big 2, and you're not in Japan, so you can't be in the top 10.
Can you imagine Jordyn Grace in a Japan run?
That will be something
iconic.
Yeah.
Real quick though, who was number 1?
Oh, I don't know.
Good question.
We don't even know. Okay.
I saw
the only one that mattered is number 2, and that's Jordyn Grace.
That's all I care. She's
Which is number 1 to us.
Tony Storm was number 1. That's the
all right.
Record scratch.
Jordyn Grace had a better year than Tony Storm.
Well,
hey.
That's a tough one because the Tony Storm gimmick was very over.
But that's the thing. It's all about a gimmick. That's what they're saying.
That's what I'm saying. That's it.
It's
kind of ick.
Well, her gimmick was bigger than.
I give her top 10, top 6. But it's just because she was, and that. Come on. No one watches that show. Come on, let's go. Let's keep it going.
But nonetheless, they ganged up.
They're going to tell me freaking former Sasha Banks is in the top 3 next year. Give me a break.
Yeah, right.
Oh, careful. She's
not had a good run.
She's got Beyonce fans.
But she's
no, I'll agree, but
a dumpster fire so far. Now maybe it could be corrected, but I blame that honestly not really on her. I blame that on the company, but that was it's not good. If she's that high ranked, just take the payoffs, PWI, because that's what you're doing. Yeah.
I feel like they've improved, but it's not perfect by any means. But it's all a matter of opinion. So.
Oh no.
I
don't know about interfered, but she got involved at the end.
I was getting to that. No, it's not. No, because the match was over.
It was over.
She
just stopped the makeover.
Right. Yeah. Reece was getting attacked. They were dabbing her face with the makeup, and then Xia Brookside came down. But yeah. So I feel like Ash and Brookside are gonna definitely have a payoff somewhere sooner rather than later. My guess is either pre-show at Bound for Glory or in the tapings following. That's my guess.
Yes.
We'll see.
I do want to, because I just saw our go ahead, Alicia.
Nothing. Sorry, I'm going through the sound clips and just realized there's actually like updated sound clips.
Oh, my guess is the UK boys have been busy.
Oh, okay, maybe.
But I do see that we have our favorite ref, Daniel Spencer, in the chat.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
there's two things I want to run by him because I know there was one question in the chat. Bonus Baby, who is the new female ref? They said her name last week, but I didn't catch it. That is ref
okay.
Alice Lane, but I know she also does OVW. So obviously with Daniel Spencer in the chat, if he wanted to make any comments there. And there's something I was going to bring up when we got to a segment, but it kind of is news too. But it's something because Daniel Spencer specifically chimed in on this, I believe 2 weeks ago, when we were talking about Full Metal Mayhem and the difference between TLC matches. And the whole thing was you didn't need to do the ladder spot. You could win by pinfall or submission. But I believe I heard this past week that just got thrown out the window for this match, which they have done at times. It's not a first time ever. They have done the Full Metal Mayhem where it is the ladder, belts on top, and that's how they're going to do this match. So it is more like a TLC than some of the other versions of Full Metal Mayhem.
Right.
So.
Well, they made a point of it during this episode
To highlight that.
Yeah.
They did the backstage segment where they were calling it a TLC match pretty much.
Yeah.
That was the inside joke.
Don't call it that. That's for someone else.
There you go, Daniel Spencer. Yes, I may or may not train Alice Lane.
Oh, very
and that's
cool.
what I thought. That's what I thought. So that's why I wanted to let him chime in.
Yeah, very nice.
Very good job. Very good job.
Good on you, Daniel Spencer, for passing on the knowledge. That's awesome, man. That's very cool. Very cool. All right, next we got the hell did I write here? Damn, I need new glasses. We got Rosemary and Chu are going after Spitfire's titles. Kind of a mysterious, spooky segment. Nothing earth-shattering, but I felt like it did its point. You don't need weeks and weeks of Rosemary and Chu being spooky like this. I feel like it did like you said, we're condensing weeks. So we don't need like weeks and weeks of Rosemary Chu promos. We're going to get you. We're going to get you.
You can do the heavy lifting in one good promo.
Yeah.
Rosemary's back must hurt from carrying this entire gimmick. So
well, and honestly, I'm asking both of you to go back a little bit.
Okay.
Have we heard Wendy Chu talk?
No.
I haven't heard a peep out of her.
No, she just
because this promo made that obvious. But I'm like, was there anything I missed about? Like, did she ever utter a word? Because this one was so Rosemary. Like, Rosemary obviously did every spoken word other than Jody Threat in this promo. And I'm like, well, I wonder if that's has that been the whole time? But I guess it has. I figured it has. Now, here's my other one for any movie buffs out there. Were there hints of The Shining in this? Not all the way, but there seemed to be a few hints of The Shining. And I thought they might even go even more Shining during it. Because like they were in like the kitchen and like you heard Donnie. But
yeah, I mean it's October, so there should be some horror reference.
Yeah. I didn't catch that, but I know what you're saying. I'd have to watch it back again.
You know who I would like much more in this position?
Because I'm sick!
Oh.
That's who. We miss Jessica Havoc.
We do. She's no matter if it was goofy Jessica or terrorizing Havoc.
When Jess comes back, they need to just let her be full blown Havoc without Rosemary and let her lay.
I want the gas mask
to the
back.
fucking women's. I want Resident
Just like
Evil.
I was talking about
Jess.
Shira earlier. I want monster heel Shira, and I want monster heel Havoc.
Yeah.
Like just dominate. Just be like forces out there. Brute strength.
Yeah.
Just going back to Daniel Spencer here. Yes, it is a ladder match this time. First time in many years it's been that way. So confirmation from the senior official.
So this is, I don't know how many Full Metal Mayhem matches the Hardys have underneath their belts, but like they said in that promo that this is ABC's first. So they're wrestling with their idols, and the primary goal is to shut down the system. And there's a lot of respect going back and forth between these two. But when it comes down to it, man, they are going to tear each other up. It's going to be very exciting. And I don't remember when that... Okay, it's much later in the show, but we're talking about it anyway, so it's all right. It's all good. So, yeah, Rosemary and Wendy Chu going after Spitfire's Knockouts tag titles. And then the match, I believe, was made official. We had 4 new matches. We'll go over them at the end of the show real quick.
They're winning. They're winning those belts. They're taking them on both brands, baby.
Oh, you think so, eh?
That was my prediction the moment they teamed up.
Could be. All right. X-Division title on the line. Definitely one of the highlights of this episode of TNA. Speedball defending his championship against the young up-and-comer Leon Slater. And the big story behind this was if Leon Slater was to win, he would be the youngest ever.
The critical sting, if you will, of the X-Division.
Yes. Yeah, because they were showing clips online, of AJ Styles versus Amazing Red. Amazing Red was, well, I don't know how old he was, but he was very young at the time. I believe
21.
21, 22, yeah. And that was, man, such a fun time in the X Division back in the day. And it's hard to believe that was like 20 years ago. It's crazy. Just wild. But yeah, Speedball versus Leon Slater. Let's talk about it. What'd you guys think?
I didn't see it, so I'll let you guys go on about it. I'll be right back.
Yeah, no, great match. Obviously, match of the night, no doubt, on the show. And I think this is something like kind of keeping the old recesses of the memory, because you're going to see this match again at some point. Like Leon Slater, with this performance, I thought he had it in him. Obviously, Mike Bailey, one of the best in the world. He's going to help bring that out. But Leon he's a future X Division champion. There's no doubt about it. We've talked about the athleticism, but he really put a solid all-around match together here. So another guy on the roster. Sky's the limit with the kid.
Oh, it's unbelievable, the stuff he does. It's
and he makes it look easy.
Oh, yeah, a lot of these guys do. It's crazy. Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah, like some of the stuff we talked about, some matches that you rarely see, but yeah, you're seeing them more and more often, and the guys just make them look so easy. It's kind of crazy. Shout out here for anybody in the Ohio area, Dayton to be exact, or can make the trip. But our favorite official here, Daniel Spencer, he'll be at Wrestling Revolver this Saturday. I have been to obviously Dayton for Revolver. It's not too bad of a hike. I won't be making it this time around, but definitely make your way out there for sure. Sammy always puts on a good show. And when you got some of the best officials in the game there, even better. So good luck, Daniel. Safe travels. And looking forward. I'm sure I'll be seeing we were talking earlier about Gia and what she's doing out there with Ace. Yeah. So definitely looking forward to that. It's always a good show, the Revolver. Definitely check it out. But just like this match, like I'm guessing everybody in the chat here has seen it. But if you haven't, if you are just kind of tripping over the old TNI show, well, we thank you. And feel free to hit that like button, sub, comment if you're not watching live or if you're listening on the audio. But no, this one, fantastic match. I'll be interested to see, because obviously we see what happened after we talked about in the news segment, the return of Vikingo in the X-Division title match at Bound for Glory. But now it's real interesting to see what they do with Leon Slater, because I think this match, like, you kind of made a man tonight. So you can take that for what you will. Like, now what do you want to do with Leon? Do you want to give him that push? Like an elevated push? Especially like, I don't know, like, what is the long term? I guess we'll find out. I feel like stuff with Bailey is going to go into obviously next year. But seeing where Leon's going to play in all this, like I'm hoping we see that rematch. I think what we saw tonight, like, that could be a hard to kill or Rebellion at the latest featured contest, or maybe Leon takes the strap.
Yeah, absolutely. This kid, similar to what we were talking about earlier with Casey Navarro. Man, this kid is the future of of this company. Honestly, if he stays healthy, strap the rocket to him. You know, and I was, and just for a brief second, I was thinking, like where do you go with him? Honestly, if you want to really help push him in a certain direction, I would seriously consider putting him with AJ Francis and Casey Navarro. Honestly,
if you really want to blow up in a positive way, like first class into a full-fledged stable, with possibly obviously the return of Rich Homie Swan, a knockout, and maybe get kind of like with their heelish persona. Obviously, you could have kind of like him with his UK accent go into that same way, like from that angle. So I don't think that's crazy. I don't think that's a crazy way to kind of, like, I think as long as you have AJ Francis, whoever you feud him / team him with is going to get a huge rub. So I fully support angles involving AJ Francis.
right.
And that can be, you can be a fan or not a fan, but he can help make, like, look at Joe Hendry. Where would Joe Hendry be without the AJ Francis feud? Like, he'd be there, but that helped him a lot.
He'd be still just being a homewrecker, you know. I mean,
Mayor wants to know, did they show the Vikingo video package? Yes, they did, Mayor. So that was known to the faithful, and I got to give credit to my fellow peeps in Nashville that all kept that under guard for the most part, and really did not let that slip. I know some of the dirt sheets wanted to run around with that like as exclusives in the last day or two, but that's good. Like, if we're back to the era where, like, not revealing spoilers as exclusives, I'll take that back. That's good to hear. But that was good. That's the beauty of, like, a small taping like that in Skyway. Stuff like that not getting out as much, which is great to see.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you could kind of tell because of the crowd reaction and the way Speedball, like, reacted to it.
Yeah, they put it on on the screen.
Yeah. So yeah, that's gonna be definitely one of the top matches of Bound for Glory. The return of Vikingo versus Speedball. They're just gonna.
That's a match of the night candidate, no doubt about it.
Yeah, and possible match of the year. Absolutely. Especially for X-Division stuff, or in general. We'll see. But Full Metal Mayhem promo with ABC talking to Hardys. We were discussing this earlier, but this is where it was in the show. Found it in my notes, surprisingly. But yeah, we don't have to talk too much about this as far as the details for the match. These guys really giving each other a pat on the back, as far as respect for the business and everything. And Hardy's been doing this for 33 years. ABC, this is their first full Metal Mayhem match with some of their idols. So it's going to be great. It really is.
Oh, yeah.
Macklin comes out, cutting a promo, calls out Josh Alexander. And, of course, Josh Alexander is now flanked by his Northern Armory, Williams
There
and
you
Nicholas.
got it. Good job there.
Yes. Well, they're making a point to really get this in the mouths of the announcers and such.
Mm-hmm.
And they're kind of getting away from the Saint and the Sinner, and they're using their names, which is good because I'm like, okay, who's who? What are their names? That's, it's something you want to like make it a normal conversation when you're talking about Josh Alexander and this new group. So that's good. Because when they first introduced, we signed the Saint and the Sinner. Who? It's, it's like put some names on it, and it makes them feel just more authentic. I guess it's organic. I don't know how else to describe it. It just feels like, oh, they got names. Okay,
They do got names.
But yeah, what do you think? This is really building up to something. Macklin versus Josh Alexander. I felt like promo-wise, this was like really good between both of them.
Yeah, and I think this is obviously, we did get a little bit of a payoff in this feud, but obviously this was going to be the feud of the company for a whole summer. But then injury delayed that, and then we kind of had a rushed ending to it to kind of just close that chapter. So to revisit this, not a bad idea. I think it's good because I think these guys were they were really ramped up to do a big feud with a big blow off. So you can tell like they're bringing their A game here. And now you got a little bit of a different angle where Josh now he's heading a group and then Macklin's still a loner for the most part. But now that, especially since EY got taken out.
Yeah. And I feel like there's something that's going to happen with EY behind the scenes in all of this, as in EY may actually join Josh in the long run. It makes sense to like make this kind of like the Team Canada that we've been like expecting for a while, but it's not going to be Team Canada. I think it's going to be something that's going to like shock Macklin, and these two will be at it again, and the respect will be out the door. And I don't know, I could just see something like that happening at Bound for Glory, like here's EY, he's here to
the old double turn.
Yes. Yeah, like he's here to help Macklin, and all of a sudden he attacks him at the end of the match or something. It's happened a million times. But
with an interesting comment here, I was of the opinion that BFG could one-up Slam this year. This match being announced tipped the scale for me, because obviously Hard to Kill has been a killer show. Some of the plus specials have been great. But obviously, Slammiversary, Bound for Glory, that's the two tent poles of the company. And I think most people would probably say Slammiversary has been the one that shined a little brighter the last couple of years. Probably more so overall in the Anthem era. But Critical Sting thinking BFG could one-up it. And he's saying this match could be the reason that this gets one-up. So,
yeah. Yeah, this is wrestling-wise.
Now, Critical Sting, are you talking about this match, like obviously Macklin, Alexander, or are you referring to that previous one by Vikingo Bailey, just to make sure?
Or the Full Metal Mayhem.
Yeah, because we went over a bunch of matches recently. So
yeah.
Just want to make sure I'm keeping with the time.
Yeah. So, but yeah, so Northern Armory works over Macklin. They tied him up, roughed him up, and yeah, no one to rescue him because, well, Macklin doesn't make a lot of friends, so it is what it is, unfortunately.
Yeah,
So,
that's
all
what I kept going. I'm like, are they going to let that? Bring him back out. Bring him back out. Hey,
there we go.
bring him back out. Like bringing Alicia back out.
Yeah.
Like who's going to help? Who's
Right?
going to help Macklin?
No one. Santino and Ariana Grace.
The chemistry between these two. They work
Yeah,
so well together. I don't know how that is. It's like they never met before this NXT TNA partnership.
Right, yeah. And Santino's always talking about how proud. Why is he proud of her? I don't get it.
He's proud of liaisons.
Yeah. Now I missed part of this conversation. I don't know how much I missed, but this is talking
It was
about
gold, Jerry. Gold.
the call your shot gauntlet.
He was talking about the because he had the big like bingo thing, like with the names, and he's talking about like this is what we have. We don't have your fancy equipment in NXT.
It's a little more old school here, yeah. But then Kaz talks about being involved in the call your shot gauntlet. Now, at this point, I'm trying to remember with everything going on at BFG, what kind of match the call your shot gauntlet is. I'm just racking my brain. And then the live audience reminded me
it's a battle royale with cheese.
Well, they were saying, someone said it's a multi-man tag match, and then whoever wins the one side of the match, they all face each other. I'm like, does that make sense? Is that part of it?
You're talking about for qualifying or the actual gauntlet?
I don't know. It's just like it's like one match evolves into the other. I don't know. Like there's so many gimmick matches from the past. Some of them just get a little fuzzy as far as how they go down.
That's usually how they qualify.
Because I'm old.
Like who gets like first and who gets last.
Well, and then I was trying to remember like who won. And they were saying Bully Ray won one of the last ones. Jordyn Grace won one of the last ones. Rhino won one of the last ones. Critical Sting. All right, I trust Critical Sting here. He says, call your shot is a Royal Rumble that becomes a singles match with the last two competitors. Okay.
Yeah, I think they were mixing the qualifying with the match.
Okay. Then Daniel Spencer just backing that up. It's Royal Rumble style match until the final two, and then it's a regular match. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, it's like somehow they mixed up the Royal Rumbles with the Survivor Series, but they've used that for qualifying, getting teams to qualify for the gauntlet. Like, if you win, you're like the last guy in, and the loser is the first guy in. A lot of, or it could be anything because it's usually intergender, so it could be either way.
Right. Yeah.
Or as Gary said, battleable. I don't know what was going on during this live reaction, Jay, but it sounds like people were getting a little wild in that live reaction.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, there it is. The 8-4-1 match.
Yo.
Oh, we have so many matches in TNA. I love it.
Right. It's like you try to keep track of
Battle Royal.
Well, and then I was also mixing it up with Feast or Fired.
You were thinking Feast or Fire too. You combined like TNA matches and came out with whatever that was.
It's nuts. Welcome back, Alicia.
Thanks.
So right before this, we were talking about Macklin Josh Alexander promo. Did you have a chance to watch that or no?
I did see it.
All right. What do you think of this? Like, it's a match now, it's official. What do you think of this feud between Josh and Macklin?
Macklin's odds aren't looking good, especially when you're up against a trio of men in tracksuits.
Men in track. I did talk about those tracksuits. They look pretty dope. That is blacksmith gear right there.
Well, I know because Josh heavy represents them, especially since they do a lot of his gear and stuff like that. Not gear, excuse me. Like, they have merch of his partnership. Anyway, yeah. It's very Hail Bop Comet. Cult.
Hail Bop.
Oof.
Oh, the Hail Bop.
I mean, if you know, right? Maybe we're giving away our ages here.
I was gonna say that goes back. Holy shnikes!
And best of luck to Macklin. He's really gonna need that face paint. It's been a while since I brought it up, but I do believe we are due for face paint. Face paint Macklin.
When's the last time we've seen face paint Macklin?
It's got to be like 2 years now. That was like a one and done, and I'm still so pissed about that because it's
I feel like
that.
He did it twice. Like I think
maybe he did it twice.
He did it once. I think he was victorious, and I think he may have lost the second time with it, and then he never brought it back again. But I'm with you. I feel this is a moment for face paint Macklin.
Yeah, face paint Macklin needs to make an appearance for this because he is going to war against. Do they have a name yet? It's just Josh Alexander in the.
Oh no! They have a name.
Thanks for not letting me finish that.
Just said it. The Northern Armory.
Northern Armory, yeah.
Oh, okay, you know what? That's got a ring to it. Okay.
So I'm very proud of this because I don't do a lot of customs lately. I just haven't. I was working on them a lot, but this is one of my first customs I ever worked on. And
there we go. There's Facebook. Is that the Ghost? Is that a Papa?
It was
the guy from Ghost, the band.
Yeah, yeah, you could say that. But that is one of his. That was one of his first. Paints he had when he came out like that, and he had the red shirt and he had the camo pants.
Yeah. That is what made me a believer in Steve Macklin because before that he was just whiskey guy to me.
So what's funny about this, I've talked about this in way past videos when I was working on this particular one and trying to get the makeup down really good. This is actually a John Cena figure with the man with the.
I should have known with the wristbands. Oh, I see it now. Now I can't unsee it. That's John Cena Macklin.
I can't unsee it.
I can't unsee it.
But it was perfect because there's no other wrestler that looks like Macklin that had like the. I don't want to say the high top fade, but the military style. Fade. Yeah, that sounds more like.
I'm out of touch with my Barbary terms, but yeah. Hey, I never would have known had you not said it. So
it's more Vanilla Ice. I'm really dating myself. Yeah.
Well, J-Bone, you can't focus on those type of haircut options when the only cut you should be talking about is from our sponsor, Manscaped, and the cut they can give you when you need the right kind of cut other places on your body.
I used to watch that show.
Northern Exposure was a good show. If you're getting a little too much Southern Exposure, use Manscaped.
There you go.
Code TNI for 20% off and
free shipping.
There you go.
Sponsored ad.
Best deal around. We love our Manscaped sponsor, and we love our Manscaped tools. They get the job done.
I know summer has come and gone, but that flashlight on that thing came in handy with all the power outages we had.
See,
It has a flashlight.
Bright LED lighting in case you gotta trim the hedges when the power goes out. Or, look for things with a very annoying sound attached to it.
Well, when the power goes out, the first thing that comes to my mind is time to pull out the Manscaped and go down south, because that's what it needs to be done.
Right? Crazy. No, and I gotta give a compliment.
Gotta use that flashlight for something.
Oh, what's funny is my daughter, who does hair now, she gave my dad a haircut, it was a long time needed haircut. And to finish up the haircut, I gave her the Manscaped trimmer, and he did like the around the neck and the stuff like that. And she's like, "Oh, this thing has a light."
Everyone's always amazed.
Yeah. So I'm like,
just put a light on something. I am a lighting guy, so I appreciate it.
I'm like, so there you go.
That wasn't an awkward story at all.
I use it as a beard trimmer. I don't know what you guys are thinking about. You guys are crazy. I'm just saying.
I actually don't use mine other than to trim knots off of my senior cat.
It's for pets.
It's for pets.
That's funny. We all use it for different things. Bill uses it.
It's a multi-tool.
Yeah.
It's a multi-tool. And then in the summer, I use it to do the yard work.
Well, it is spooky. Well, I was thinking yard work because it is spooky season, and you can be like Edward Scissorhands,
yard work,
and control your own destiny with your Manscaped, because you can prune away just like Edward and make dinosaurs and all those other fun shapes from the Tim Burton classic.
Oh my god!
Or go less. Whatever you like.
Beautiful.
It's a free country. You do what you want.
Gary with a Kalon reference. Love it. Kalon, the punk rocker.
Yes. He still uses his. I know he does. Witness protection, folks. Witness protection. But thank you. We love our Manscaped. Code TNI, 20% off, free shipping. Go order.
Yeah, shout out to Kalon.
Kalon and your buddy Kyle. Kalon and your buddy Kyle.
Your buddy Kyle.
Wait.
Damn, it feels good to be a gangster.
Had to.
It's a classic.
In case anybody forgot.
Never forget. I can't help though but think of Office Space every time I hear it. And then talking Office Space, King of the Hill's coming back next year.
I definitely picture Kalon slamming that 40 down on a fax machine. Yeah, I can see it.
Call me Mike.
Wow. Great film. All right. We continue. Let's see. We were talking about Macklin. And then as Alicia came back, we were talking about the call your shot gauntlet. We got that all cleared up. And this whole thing with Kaz, I want to focus on Kaz for a minute. We get more stuff at the end of the show. We'll get into it. But Kaz comes in and he's like, I'm going to win the call your shot gauntlet. And it's like, oh,
he had to
okay.
Okay.
He's demanding he be.
Say less, fam.
Say no more.
That's why he's the king, though, is because he's playing Game of Thrones and everyone else is just like not.
Right.
He had nerve to insult Ariana's crown? The man who wears no crown. It was
the self-identified king of TNA.
His jacket is his crown.
Scarf.
His lack of serotonin means he's no king.
No eyeliner. I can't.
Who is this guy?
Who is this guy?
He's the guy that was thrown out of the Flying Elvises. That's who he is.
Oh, shit. That one hit late, but wow.
Sonny Sakai has no time for this.
Oh.
He wasn't in the Flying Elvis.
He wasn't. He's trying to be now. 20 years later.
Oh, you're saying okay. All right. I'm like, wait a minute. Did I miss something? Then I was trying to remember who was in
Josh
it.
Miles. I do not take credit for things like this. But I've been saying that guy had no crown for forever. And it seemed like that was a reference of him not having a crown. That comment he made to her. It's like it's getting to him that people are saying you ain't no king without no crown. Like, you don't got to wear it all the time, but you needed to have some type of segment where you put on a crown at some point.
Oh,
at least go to your local Burger King. Get the Addams Family crown if you want to mix it up a little bit.
End of Bound for Glory. He'll have something much better than a crown.
He could wear that on his head.
I'm just saying. I'm like, there's no way that they're like interjecting him into this, like in a roundabout sort of way, if there wasn't something big going to happen.
I think that's what people are going to take from tonight is to call your shot.
Oh, I'm taking it.
Santino confirms that he is in it after he leaves, that he is in the match. Because pre-show, that means the winner could then challenge for the world title by the end of the night. They're not going to do that. It's a red herring. People think it every time, and it doesn't happen that way. It happened once, but they're not going to do it.
Or,
especially if if it's all about JBL getting in the shenanigans and all that, and it's to screw over Nick, maybe. But you're not going to give it to, you're not going to pull what they did with Josh and have Moose beat him in 10 seconds after winning it. They're not going to pull that routine. Critical Sting, nobody getting Moose this year. I can't see them do, maybe there's a right angle where JBL gets involved and Frankie gets involved and it's just a schmaz fest. But I don't know. I don't know if you do that. That feels like not the right call.
The King's got a plan.
To do all that to put over Frankie. Come on, man.
He's smart. He's the smartest man in the room, and no one's going to give him credit for it until the end of Bound for Glory.
He's playing chess while everyone's playing checkers.
Thank you.
There's a master plan.
Somebody.
I think he needs a makeover by Elegance. Get his guy liner back. Get some serotonin in him, and then we can talk about a world title run.
Ooh. Maybe steal some of Raven's effects from back when he actually had that. He wore did he have it was like a white top hat and like a evil looking.
It was Clockwork Orange Raven, right?
Something like that. I forget.
More the bowler.
Yeah. All right, we continue. Myers versus Santana. I was very excited about this until it started, but never really started.
Yeah.
Santana.
The second match where, this was an angle. It really wasn't a match.
Right. So Santana went in with the chain, came in from the crowd. Crowd's all fired up. Absolutely. It's like the music's still playing. The bell, as far as I know, never rang.
Well, no, that's why you can get away with all this. It's not a match yet.
Right. So I just put it as no contest. It was just pretty much just thrown out. Like the ref was outside, scared to death, going, no. This ain't happening. Smartest man in the room right there.
Right.
But Santana takes the chain, wraps it around his arm, and just clotheslines the shit out of all of the system, except for Moose. So he takes out Myers. He takes out Eddie. He takes out Dango, and then calls out Moose and goes after him. Keyword was the smartest man in the room with a chain wrapped around his arm, because when he got backstage, Moose clocked him over the head with a baseball bat, and that was done right there. So yeah, Moose
Is the one playing chess.
Yeah.
in this segment, yes. Yeah.
Facts.
Santana's a hothead. He's got to be.
He's got to keep that emotion, which, hey, that's what fuels him to get him to where he needs to get to. But you got to have that. Sometimes you got to check it. They come out on the other end, right? Because that could cost them. You can be a little overzealous.
You got to have a bigger strategy than going out there with a bicycle chain just to clothesline the crap out of everyone. Alicia, what do you think about this feud? Do you feel like this is going to be one of the bigger ones at Bound for Glory, or?
Yeah. It's one against many, and he's already pissing people off. He's getting baseball bats to the head unexpectedly. So he's got his work cut out for him. It'll be good.
Yeah, they're telling a good story here. This is a blood feud.
Yes.
So there's like I think that's what Sting mentioned this, and obviously the same thing with Macklin and Alexander. Like there's some history there, but it's like these are guys that just don't like each other, and the grudge match on a bigger scale. So we'll see what happens. This feels like this like if you're looking for color or kind of like violence in matches, I think those are sort of two matches you want to like. I know there's the Monsters Ball match, but it feels like you might get more out of these two than that.
Right.
Yeah.
And
well put.
I was gonna say this. I think a lot of people consider Santana one of those OG TNA guys that you really want to push to the top in the future. But he's got to take care of some obstacles first, and Moose is one of the biggest obstacles. I'm not just talking about size. Yeah, he is one of the faces of this. Thank you. Yes, absolutely. Multi-time champion.
Mm-hmm.
If you got to get to the top, you got to take out guys like Moose, and in this case, sadly, his whole freaking squad. So, yeah.
His whole crew.
They're going down. They got
matching tracksuits too. I guess that's like the trend.
Well, they got those cute little T-shirts they wear now.
Yeah, that's cute.
Bill's like, you called it cute.
I go to death matches. I'm not a reliable narrator in that sense.
Cute T-shirt, Moose. Bonk. Where's J-Bone been? Well, he called Moose's T-shirt cute. All right. Next we got
adorable.
That's even better. Matthew Raywalt. Sitting here in I guess you could almost call this a debate.
Yeah, Drama King getting his time to shine.
It
normally
is
like a Tom Hannafin gig.
Yeah. Jordyn Grace and Masha Slamovich face to face, talking out why this is. Jordyn Grace just trying to get down to why this is happening. What's going on in the mind of Masha? What do you guys think of this sit down?
I finally figured it out.
Oh,
Go for it.
So, where the confusion comes in with this whole storyline for me was, they're best friends. Like she's only been face. Masha was only face for like a hot minute. You know what I mean? But then I realized in real life, Jordyn and Masha are really good friends. And so I guess somewhere along the line, Impact forgot lore and just kind of crossed over their real life relationship into
kayfabe being damned at it.
Yeah. And so that's why I was like, what the hell what do you mean? Why are you surprised that Masha put your face on her kill wall? Like, you're the champion. Like, there's no friends in wrestling. Like,
what? Are you saying there's no friends in wrestling? There's got to be friends in wrestling.
I thought we were friends.
Upset, and I'm like, well, you guys were only friends for like a month in wrestling terms. What are you talking? Because I'm going off of storylines and stuff. And Masha has been a heel up until just recently, and I guess she's a heel again. And yeah, so they decided to incorporate the real life relationship, and that kind of, like I said, just kind of confused the shit out of me. Like, what?
Well, like they said in this promo, there was a deep level of respect, if anything.
Well, because that wouldn't have been there if it was still following kayfabe. You know what I mean? Like that would have been probably a lot more of a hostile situation. But I couldn't believe that Jordyn couldn't believe. It's like Tommy Dreamer, like copping for Bully Ray. Oh, trust me, he's changed. He's a good person. He's so kind. Trust me, bro. Like I just find it hard to believe that you would believe that. You know what I mean? And so, but again, they crossed the realities, and now I'm all fucked up about it.
They cross streams. You don't ever cross streams.
Oh, don't cross the streams.
Don't cross the streams, because look at what happens. They don't explain how suddenly Jordyn and Masha are best fucking friends, and Jordan's really upset.
She started speaking English.
Yeah. Well, yeah. It's because she turned face. The switch turned. She turned face, and she speaks English now.
You guys, J-Bone taught her English. I had a perfectly normal conversation with Masha Slamovich last year. No one remembers this.
Yeah. But anyway, I also get the vibe that this is like a passing of the torch kind of thing. So I don't know. Technically, my money's on Masha with this one.
Absolutely. It
feels like it. However,
it's starting to make sense. I mean, I did appreciate this segment because it made it feel like we're understanding where the feelings are coming from and whatever. And
speaking of feelings, J-Bone, Critical Sting just chimed in here. It's nearly 30 minutes past midnight, and we thank you for staying here with us.
Yes.
And I've been reminded of the Bully Ray Dreamer feud. Gonna be sleep deprived.
You are welcome. Yeah, there were highs and lows to that.
But I will say this still. Bully Ray, Josh, that hit. Hard to kill. That was fantastic, that match.
Yeah.
But I get there are positives and negatives to a lot of stuff. But in there here.
So yeah, in regards to that comment from Mir, it's just yes, but she can't be champion forever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
because I feel like I bring it up every show. You run the risk of running her momentum in the ground if you just make her champion, because then all her matches become predictable. All her, and yeah. It's Masha and her, so I feel like if she's going to lose it in real life, she would probably want to lose it to someone who she considers really close to her, and it would be meaningful.
Yeah.
Like, so.
Well, didn't we just see this? Deanna and Jordyn? Deonna won every match until the last one.
Jordyn, she didn't. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I gotta say that is one thing about TNA and the Knockouts division and whoever's been in charge of behind the scenes booking some of these particularly really good feuds. They've been phenomenal, and they've been great storytelling instances. Whether it was Mickie James with Deonna Purrazzo, or others that we've had over the last few years have been really entertaining. So this is just going to be another one that touches on real life, but yeah.
And if Jordyn isn't going somewhere else, please let this be the heel change when she loses to Masha. The heel turn that we've all.
Oh.
Everyone's got to go through it once, and we have yet to see a heel Jordyn Grace.
We may not see it. We may not see it.
Because I know because they got big plans for it and stuff, but I also think that it would give her credibility even more so on her rise. Like, it wouldn't hurt her. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I thoroughly agree. Yes.
Because I could see it being this situation where she's so used to be, and I've said this in the past on the show, she's so used to being on the top that the perfect kind of heel turn would be her losing the belt and snapping, like beating the shit out of everybody and just going on a rampage. She's the juggernaut, and you know what I mean? Like force, she would become a force of destruction in the conquest to try and get that belt back, because that to her is everything. You don't know what you got till it's gone, and that'll make someone go nuts.
And it could be from Bound for Glory till, say, they extend it till Hard to Kill, which is usually shortly right after the new year.
They could do that, and then if they ever wanted to snap her back, just have someone who she's like storyline friends with in the past or whatever come through and kind of snap some sense into her, and like, oh, okay, I'm recovered, okay. Yeah. Wow, I really went a little crazy there, huh? Like,
sorry, guys.
Sorry, my bad. Should I write him a note?
I'll pay for the equipment.
Because, like, it doesn't make sense. Like, if we're making Masha face now, like, face, you guys are always correcting me that apparently we can't have face versus face matches, and we can't have heel versus heel matches. We just can't have nice things. So we can't have creative stories. You know what I mean? Where one, face versus face is where they both build each other up, and a heel versus heels where they do everything in their power to tear each other down. You know what I mean?
Dirt sheets don't say that's how it's supposed to be. It can't be.
Let's talk to the real person in the room who's not terminally online. I don't care about dirt sheets. I don't watch dirt sheets.
There you go.
Oh yeah, sure. Sure. Anyway, assholes.
And this is the anti-dirt sheet hour with TNI.
But it's like, look at comic books, man. The storyline is always that hero who turns heel, and what's that saying? Is like, you're the hero until you see yourself as the villain, or I don't know.
Oh, go Batman! I love it.
Yeah, Two-Face.
Was that a joke? Two-Face? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, classic line from the second.
As I butcher it.
No, you were close enough. We knew what it was. Yeah, Batman didn't say it, but yeah.
It's like Sabretooth versus Psylocke, bro. Like, this match is crazy.
Sabretooth reference. Love it.
Wow.
Oh, there it is. Critical Sting. Even getting his comic references in here.
Thank you, because I was
a hero or live long enough to become the villain.
Yes.
Yep.
Classic. It's an absolutely iconic, which is exactly what happens to that character in the movie. Yeah.
I came in. Oh wait, we can't sing it. I was gonna say though, Jordyn Grace could roll through like a wrecking ball, and then you know what I mean. Imagine her taking that Fury over to NXT and getting their belt or something. I don't know. I just feel like they got bigger plans for her. Like that's TNA and NXT. I feel like they have big plans for her. I don't know.
So are you putting on her? Are you saying you're going to put Jordyn on a wrecking ball?
She is the wrecking ball. What are you talking about?
I'm like, let's not Miley Cyrus this.
Well, or Hulkster. She would outdo the Hulkster for sure.
Oh my god!
Everybody does at this point. That guy's a fucking clown. He still wears feather boas and drink his milk with his vitamins.
The body's allowed to wear feather boas at this point.
I don't even drink anymore, and I want to try the beer. It's American beer. Anyways, main event.
So it's like fucking in a canoe. It's fucking
Take your poison.
Tastes just like Pabst. Kaz comes out
again.
Yes,
enough Kaz.
Kaz is
like, why are we still talking about him?
As soon as he comes out here, I'm like, oh, what's yeah, this is interesting. He's on commentary again for the main event, and the main event is
even Tom Hannafin gave a
right.
Oh, this guy.
He gave the collective groan.
This guy stinks.
And it was right before break.
Get a load of this guy.
So Ray Walt wasn't back yet from the conversation between Jordyn Grace and Masha Slamovich.
I do appreciate that. It's like,
yeah,
he could have
like he went away and came
here
back
already.
Yeah. Yeah, they didn't treat it like a pre-recorded segment. There's like, oh, he actually went somewhere and did this.
Yeah.
Okay. So they come back from break. Matthew Ray Wells in there between them, and Hannafin is just hands in face. He's just like, Ray Wells just over the moon. Yay, Kaz is here. We got Pick Your Poison match, second one of the night. Matt Cardona versus his poison, the world champ, Nick Nemeth. Let's talk about the match first, and then let's talk about what happened afterwards. Anybody?
Bill.
Well, this is for the old WWE heads in the audience. You had the old Dolph versus Zach experience here. A little throwback, guys with a lot of history there. So I'm sure they enjoyed having this match, and obviously Nick always is bringing it. And even though I will give a hard time to Mid Cardona, he can pull off a decent match. So I thought this was pretty good. I thought it was a decent match there. Obviously, a lot of Kaz putting himself over during this match. But no, I thought they I thought Cardona kind of fared pretty well there, obviously with the world champ. But obviously in the end you saw what was going to happen, and you saw the attack by Kaz interfering in this match, and getting himself involved, and then obviously Joe Hendry getting involved, that then set up the announcement that he will be the special enforcer at Bound for Glory, and nobody can stop him because he went over everyone's head.
He even had a "excuse me while I whip this out" moment, which I thought was the best. I'm like, Cass, what are you doing? And he whips out the ref shirt, pulls it out of his pants. I was like, oh my God.
He just had that sitting there.
He has had that. It's just, yep. Just
I thought he just worked part-time at Foot Locker.
Oh my God.
Of course. But yeah, this is the part where I'm like, oh, there it is. There it is. There's the genius in the room. He's gonna ref the frickin' match, so he'll be right there after he wins the gauntlet. He can.
I want to know what Anthem official is making these decisions. We need names.
I don't know, but like I said, I think it's a stroke of genius. I've seen the special guest referee plenty of times. Hell, CM Punk just did it recently at an NXT show. But this has a whole new twist on it. He's gonna win the show on win the match on the pre-show. He's gonna ref the main event, and he's gonna take it all. And
that's too by the numbers, J-Bone.
He's gonna do it legally, and nobody can do a damn thing about it. Nobody.
Santino won't stand for it.
No, ma'am.
What do you think about all this, Alicia?
I think it's ludicrous, but in an exciting way. Like I said, I've been saying through the night, Kaz is playing chess and everyone's playing checkers, and he's making moves. He went above everybody's head, meaning he went to Santino, right? And Santino actually okayed it. So, how crazy is it?
And then
don't answer that.
And then it's rhetorical, right? It's the fact that all of a sudden now he's also special guest referee, and
that's disgusting.
It's not very Santino-ish.
That's what Santino's going to be saying by the end of the night.
But that was the main event, J-Bo.
That was.
It set it all up. So all kinds of things are happening for Bound for Glory. One more, the go-home show next week.
Yes. Yeah. Can't wait. I'd say we're pretty well booked on matches. If they do anything, they got the pre-show is the Hall of Fame. Let's talk about the matches real quick that they added to this, just to throw them in there. We got the Hall of Fame.
Call your shot.
Call your shot on the main or on the pre-show. Excuse me, the countdown. Card for the show. Of course, main eventing Nick Nemeth versus Joe Hendry. Now, special guest referee Frankie Kazarian.
Trouble.
The new visual is just Kaz in the middle, ref shirt, just with a smug look on his face, like, I know it all. It's beautiful. Knockouts World Championship match, Jordyn Grace, Masha Slamovich, Full Metal Mayhem, ABC and the Hardys trying to dethrone the system. Moose versus Mike Santana. I feel like there's a lot of stipulations on this card. I feel like this one needs something. I don't know what. I don't care to make it no DQ, whatever, just anything. Josh Alexander versus Steve Macklin. X-Division Championship, Mike Bailey versus a returning Vikingo. Gonna burn the place down. It's gonna be nuts. Monsters Ball match. PCO defending his TNA Digital Media and International Wrestling Championships against Matt Cardona. TNA Knockouts World Tag Team Championship on the line. Spitfire defending against Rosemary and Wendy Chu. Countdown to Bound for Glory, like I said, call your shot Gauntlet with the Hall of Fame of Rhino and Bob Ryder going in. And it says, and so much more. So, hey.
Yeah, not that much more.
We might get a little something. I don't know what. But yeah, that is the show.
Bang.
Loaded. Not everyone's cup of tea, but that's okay. You feel better now that you got it out of your system, Alicia?
Yeah,
I guess.
I guess.
Wait till next week. It'll be all better.
I'll probably be more mad. I don't know. It's looking grim, guys. Sorry. The forecast is looking chilly.
It's like I'm not even going to watch the damn show now. All right.
Well, I can't. I'm not going to be home for it anyway, but
now she's just making excuses not to be there. I tell you. No, I'm kidding.
Nah, she has a good excuse because, like I said, that's where I was going to be.
That's right. You're going to that other stateside.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. All right. And I'm not going anywhere. So there you go.
I'm probably right here.
I'm probably if it's a Saturday night, I'm probably working. I can't request off. So I don't know what we're gonna do. We'll talk about it at some point. We'll
figure it out.
It might be the following Thursday. Who knows? We'll see. All right. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Make sure you check out all the links in the description, including the Manscaped discount that we were talking about earlier in the show, and all the places you can follow us at. And on your way out, you folks know what to do. Make sure you smash that like button, smash that sub button, ring that bell for notifications. Why? So that you know when our content hits your screen. And we'll see you down the road real soon.
Bye.